Welcome to the Vector Garden. In this video, we're going to take a look at another thing that you can do with raster images in Illustrator. And these two objects are different. So this is actually still a vector artwork created in Illustrator, and this is a raster image. And this raster image is already embedded. So what you can do with it is create a brush. So let's go to Window and Brushes. And ropes, of course, are suited for pattern brushes. And this pattern does not quite fit. So if I duplicate it and, put it to there, then you see it does not really fit. So I didn't invest a lot of time to make this ready, but of course you can edit that in Photoshop and really prepare it so that it works. Let's just take this and drag it into the brushes panel, create a pattern brush, and there we are. So what you can now do with that, you can draw the path, and there you see it gets applied. Now what's happening here is there are these seams, and that is something that cannot really be solved. So what we can try is make this in a way that we draw a rectangle on top of it, like this, and that rectangle should just be slightly smaller than that part. So when you prepare the artwork, make sure that it's slightly overlapping at the edges, and then let's apply a stroke of none, and then let's go to Object, Arrange, and Send to Back. And then take these two, drag them into the brushes panel and make another pattern brush. And then let's apply that one. And you see we get better edges in here. So still it gets stretched, and that's why we have some little seams. So this won't really work, but it can somewhat work with pattern brushes. Another brush makes a lot of more sense. And in here, as I said, this is still a vector artwork. So let's go to View, Outline View. There we have the outlines. But this contains gradients, a lot of gradients and clipping masks. And it's something that, because of the gradients, you cannot directly create a brush from it. So if I take this and drag it in here, then you see, well, you can't. But what you can do is go to Object and rasterize this. And you see I'm going to make the background transparent, of course. And then you need to set up the resolution at the resolution that fits your use case. So you have to take into account the size in which you are going to reproduce this and the size in which you scale that brush. So I'm going to set this slightly lower to 150 ppi. Art optimized is nice, that's good. And let's go to OK, and then we have a pixel image, and that can be dragged in here. And let's make a scatter brush and set all of them to random, like so. And of course, now we need to set up that size and that spacing, and of course that scatter, and then the rotation, and set the rotation to the path. And of course no method, because that won't work anyway. So let's draw with it, and you see you can make a nice drawing of blueberries that are scattered around that path. And you can even have some more of them. So let's go into the appearance panel and let's duplicate this and duplicate it some more. And what you can do is now introduce some depth of field. So let's select the bottommost one of these. Let's go to Effect, and then let's blur that using Gaussian blur. And of course, there are a lot of them, so that might take a while. And let's just blur them slightly more. So we're starting to see it. You see these get blurred so that we get a nice depth of field in this. And of course, you can take the next one and blur that as well, slightly less maybe, so that we get that impression of depth of field. And have a nice arrangement for a packaging or wherever you need that. So that's how you can use raster images in brushes.